everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here, and I had a little break. I need a little unwind or whatever. Um, but it's been a while since I've drawn anything traditional, and I figured we'd do a new mashup, kind of like we did with the Magneto and stuff. And this is also partially a suggestion of a challenge almost of like what to do for a Highland Fling weekend that's going on locally for us. So I figured we'd do a mashup of. They wanted me to do a mashup of Aquaman and a Celtic warrior, basically. Um, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just using a piece of Bristol board. You can use whatever paper you want, but we're going to go ahead and get started with this. It's going to be a two-parter. We're going to do it traditionally first, and then we're going to switch over and do it digitally in part two. And of course, it'll be step by step. So let's go ahead and come along for the ride here. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're just going to start laying in our shapes. So I'm just going to lightly sketch, but try to add enough visibility that you can see what we're doing. Bristol board, I don't want to leave a stain for my drawing. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a shoulder right here. Okay, and hopefully we can stay focused. I really don't like the autofocus on my camera. But we're going to do an arm here, but I want to do I'm going to do like the Jason Momoa version of it. So let's go ahead and, of course, if you've watched me for any number of time, I'm a very stylized person, so I will definitely be exaggerating the size of the arms and stuff. So let's go ahead and build in our forearm here. Let's see. Kind of make sure I have some space there. Let's come up here to the shoulders. And kind of put, because I want to have his tattoos and stuff be exposed on here too, so he still has that Aquaman look. So I'm just kind of going to do like a fur thing, which would have been worn by these warriors. So I'm just working that out right now. And just kind of putting things in place just so that I have something. Let's see, let's start our shoulder. Extend this out some. Start our shoulder here. And back down here is where we'll do our chest. Okay, so we just kind of have these basic shapes going right now. We're not really adding any detail. So like right here where we start rounding, we're going to come out this way. And we're going to build our chest back. And of course, this is going to be a long video because we're going into some detail. get that trap muscle right there. Okay, so I'm going to come back down here, and we're going to round down the abs right here. Okay, I'm going to put a line here so that we have that visible. Okay, and then over here on the chest, I'm going to do like kind of a barbarian band here. So I'm just going to put like a circle right here, and then run that line over this way. I'll put 2 lines here. Let's bring, so kind of round here, let's kind of flatten this out. More like that. Okay, and from the top here, let's bring out some fur. I'm going to erase this part right here. Okay, so we have this kind of arch here, and I want that to kind of bend out a little bit more. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just kind of going for what's similar. Bring that back down, and we'll round that out into another piece of fur here. Let's thin that out. Let's make that like a thinner piece of hair. Here, and that come off. Okay, so this is just kind of stand-in for now. I'm going to come down my chest, and we're going to come up, and then we're going to kind of come down with another kind of triangle shape, and that'll help us get a better placement. And then from there, I can come in, we can kind of round down like the bottom of the shoulder here. Okay, so that'd be the shoulder on the opposite side. I'm going to curve that in right here. And we're going to bring that around. That'll be our bicep over here. And we're going to bring our forearm down. Right, kind of right in there. And again, I'm just trying to get some basic shapes in here just so that we can kind of establish where everything's going to be at. So let's kind of bring our neck up here. And we're just going to kind of put in a shape for the head right now. And that'll just kind of be a placeholder in there. So we're kind of beefing him up a little bit just so he looks like more of a Celtic warrior barbarian type, because that's where a lot of those stories derive from. We're going to come back over here to this side of the arm, and then right here where it kind of flats and starts to curve, and get the rest of his back in there. And we'll kind of have a piece come out from the hip. Just a little line right there. And that come down and out. what I'm going to do is we're going to work with what we got. We're going to start working in um, some detail to kind of better define what we have here. Um, let's come to the arm here. Okay, let's start shaping out this shoulder. So we want to kind of come up with it like this. So you can see I'm kind of darkening the line just a little bit. And coming back. Help me get that shoulder shape. And as I come up here, we want to kind of have a little bit of that fur coming down this way. So we're going to kind of come out like that there. And let's take that up and come out some. Like that there. Okay. And we're going to kind of cross over this way. Coming back down to the rest of the shoulder. And if you can see, I'm kind of breaking up the roundness. I got like kind of an angle here. And we're just going to stretch that out. And round that in. I'm going to come just past it like that. And as I go through, you'll see me kind of cleaning up a lot of the sketchy lines just so that they're not in our way. Okay. So let's come back over to this side of the arm here. All right, we're going to kind of bring it in some. And I'm going to use this kind of light sketch line to give me a slight shoulder detail here. Just like that. Then again, I'm going to kind of thinly do a line here. Bring that over. Kind of thicken it up down here at the bottom. And what we want to do is kind of roll that out to the next shoulder part. So you can see I have this kind of like line that comes out this way and then goes up like that. So see how it's not touching, but it's giving us detail. That's what we're going for. All right, so I'm going to come down here now to my bicep. Okay, I'm going to bring that right off the shoulder. Again, we're going to go and we're going to kind of straighten that out some, like this. And then as we get down here, we're going to round that down. Again, I'm just going to clean up around it. And your lines don't have to perfectly match. It's okay. And it's all practice. And you can obviously make any adjustments and things as you go along too. Okay. So now that we have that established, I'm going to try to keep things even. So that's why you'll see me switching back and forth. So I'm going to come back over here. And we're going to kind of exaggerate, again, this tricep, which on a normal human being would not look like that. This guy's been bench pressing cows for a while. So he's got some big arms. All right. So right down in here, we can kind of put a little shape to show the the fold over from that point. Maybe add a little line work here. Might be a little too thick. So let's leave that like that. And then we'll add a little line here. Again, it's just to help give us some detail. So I'm going to come back to this side here. All right. As this kind of curls in right here, we're going to kind of straighten that out like this. We're going to kind of stretch it. Okay. Then I'm going to come a little bit above that, and we're going to kind of put in a shape for the elbow. Okay, so that'll kind of represent where our elbow is. Um, Again, a lot of line work being used, at least by myself, is to just kind of help give the idea of what something is. It doesn't have to be completely detailed. So you can see how it's kind of giving me some lines to work with. Okay. Then I'm going to come down from here. I'm going to kind of stretch. So now we can use what we have to kind of build our forearm out. And I'm going to just take that this way. So we want to make it a little bit bigger right here. Okay. Now, because we have this kind of fur motif and stuff like that, we want to have a lot of layering, but they didn't really have until later, like armor and stuff. Like they would dress up like knights and things, but we're going for more like traditional warriors. So we're gonna go with some cloth underlay and stuff like that. So we're gonna start right here at the forearm and kind of come out and up right here. Let's just erase that so you can see it better. Okay, so I'm just kind of coming out and going up. And then we're just going to bring that down that way like that. Now again, I like to try to keep things even, so you're going to see me kind of hop back and forth. So we have this line here. I'm going to kind of come out this way. And then we're going to kind of round back that way for the forearm. Okay, so from here, I'm going to kind of extend it out. And let's clean up this edge so we don't get confused. I'm going to take that down some right there. Okay, and then we're going to kind of come out and have that cloth turn in like that. And we'll just kind of bring a line down. We want it to kind of look a little foldy so that it, you know, looks like it's kind of just protruding out from the main part. So once I have that in there like that, we're going to then take ourselves across. So I'm just going to kind of come out from it a little bit. You can see, let me erase this. You can see I have a line coming out this way. So let's go ahead and let's come across the arm and we'll get a little, you know, shapeage going here just so it kind of breaks it up. It's not so perfect and even going across. And once I want to kind of cut it off because I want it to not be the same wraparound shape. So it's going to go down this way and come back like that there. All right. And then from here, I can come out at this spot here. We can kind of have a line come out. And kind of curve it this way. Again, we're going to try our best to, you know, keep things even and also have that kind of cloth, you know, fold look like it's got some overlapping going on. So you can see I'm kind of going up and over. I'm going to come out and go down and pass in front right there. So now that looks like we have our cloth kind of coming out, but we do again want to have another fold come out. So it means we're going to have to probably adjust our forearm a little bit. So let's do this. Let's come out and go that way. Just so we have the fold here. And then we're going to come out from that area. I'm just going to put a little line here just to show it's coming out. And we're going to extend And we'll erase that. And then let's change our forearm. Okay. So again, good art takes time. So these mistakes and stuff happen. You just have to be able to adjust to them. So let's kind of bring that forearm this way. Right, and as we come up in here, we'll extend the line out. And take that in there. And then what I want to do is maybe add in a little line work there for muscle definition. Let's come in here. It's a little too blank right now. So let's kind of come in here and get us a little shape in there. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to come back down here. I'm going to darken that up a little bit. Okay, and then from like right here where this is touching, we want to kind of have that a little bit of a fold over right here. So we're just going to kind of extend a line out that way. And then I'm just going to come down from here and bring that down. Okay, I'm going to come back to this side again, trying to keep things even. So where we kind of came out here, I'm going to kind of round that back. So it's kind of rounded, it's not straight. All right. Once that, I'm going to bring that in some. And let's go out this way. I'm going to kind of round that there, right? Now I want to do again, because I'm taking a little bit further back to more, like I said, that barbarian time. So let's add in some stone on here, like a stone bracelet. And we'll get another piece coming out right here just to kind of give it some roundness. Okay, I'm going to take that, kind of shape stone, and that's just going to continue to just kind of wrap around our forearm here. And again, what this will allow us to do by putting this in is then we can adjust our wrist size. So that it turns more like a wrist. It's not such a straight line. And let's get another stone right out here on its edge. And then we can thin that up that way, like that. Okay? Yeah, next thing we're going to do, we're going to come back up over here where our stone was. And we are going to come this way with it. Okay. And my type of drawing, I mean, I could set up the hands and stuff, but now that I have like a visual thing in my mind, I usually just kind of go with it from there and just kind of make random adjustments as we go. So like from here, right, where this comes down, I want to have like a slight little triangle poke out right here. Let's make that a little bigger just so that you can see it. We're going to come up and go out, and the reason for that is I want to be able to kind of shape the thumb here. Okay, so we're going to take that out and go down like that. And then I'm going to take the rest of this and kind of curve in and come back out. And get our first finger right in there. Now before I do anything else, I want to kind of have this part that kind of goes over the hand. So I'm just going to kind of round from here and then start taking that back. And we'll kind of round that just like that there. Okay, kind of curve that back. Right there into the hand. All right. Now, the next thing is we want to complete these fingers. So, I'm going to kind of come from here just because of the angle of it. And we're going to take it down this way. So it should look like that. And do another slight curve here. And this is kind of like having the knuckles in there a little bit. And let's kind of curve that in. And again, I'm going to do like another shape here. Come down. Get another curve. That's going to kind of go into our pinky right here. So I'm going to kind of come from here. Let's bring that out some, because I want to get the shape of the hand there. So I'm probably going to extend that pinky out some. So let's go ahead and erase what we have there. And let's kind of get a curve here. Then from right underneath here and come out. And we have our pinky right there. All right. And now we can come back and get some more detail in here. So I'm going to kind of add like a ridge line here. And let it kind of go up. That way. Okay. And let's do another part, because this is kind of more like, you know, animal hide and stuff. So it's going to have some detail to it, at least some. All right. So that takes care of that arm, and now I can start working inward, right? So let's come up here to this part. I want to have a portion where it kind of lines up with the hip. So let's go ahead and kind of come out this way. And we can go from that. Let's add a slight curve right here, right? And that can kind of go up, because I don't want it to be perfectly rounded. So let's kind of go up this way and go back. And then we can take that same kind of shape. So see how I'm kind of angling the abdomen as opposed to just rounding it out. Okay, so let's kind of take a little liberty with the shape here. Again, I'm just kind of cleaning it up as I go too. All right. Now, next thing is this bottom area of the chest, right? So we're going to take a thin line and connect that there. And then from here, we're going to kind of come out to about right here, okay? Now, it wouldn't be very anatomically correct if we didn't give him a proper shape in this area. I'm not really sure what YouTube allows you to call it, but we'll call it an aerial. All right. Um, and we will go back that way with that. Okay. Now for the chest itself, in the middle, we're gonna start right. So like, see where this kind of connects here in the middle. We're gonna kind of come up this way and give it some thickness right there. And then I'm gonna kind of thin out as we go back this way to the bicep. And then of course we want our second areola right here on the chest. Now we don't have to completely have this connect, so I'm gonna like erase back a little bit right there. And I'm gonna take that back this way like that. Okay. Now, if you're wondering why I haven't done any shading or anything yet, it's because we're gonna do those tattoos. All right, because I still want to get that memorial feel of having those arm tattoos in there. But for now, we are going to draw this circle stone that kind of holds in. Now I am going to add like little details, so like it's kind of cracked right here. Right, because what I want to do is we still want to kind of add in a feature that might help give us the suggestion that he is still the king of Atlantis. So for right now, I'm going to put this stone edge here, right? And then inside, it might be hard for you to see it while I'm drawing it, so you may want to wait till after. But we are going to put this little trident symbol right inside of here. Because our Aquaman is going to be a broadsword wielding warrior. If you can't see that, I'm sorry, but just look up a shape of a trident's head and just put that in there. If I move my camera any closer, I gotta do a lot of paper shifting, which I don't want to do. Okay, so now let's bring this out this way. It's gonna be our first, the strap that's kind of holding everything together. Okay, so we're gonna kind of come out and go right inside of there. And now we can come in, because this is, like I said, it's kind of like hide armor almost, so it's mixed with the fur. So I'm going to kind of break up the shape, so I kind of went up, out, and back up again. And we're going to kind of come out this way. So again, this is kind of the hide. Folding up. So it almost looks like a question mark. Okay, I'm just going to kind of clean up around that area. Now, let's come up this way. And then just kind of clean it up. Like that. Now we do want some folds inside of here. So I'm just going to kind of put those shapes in there like that. Okay. And then as I come up this way, we want to have a slight bit of an overlap of shadow. We'll put that in like that. And then we can just simply have like a piece come out. I'm just kind of thickening the line up this way, but we can kind of have a piece come out this way. Right, so we're getting back to our fur again. Okay. Right here, probably have like a slight overlap. And we want that to kind of curve out. So let's go from here. And go down that way. Actually, let's come back some right here. And let's just make it one big piece. Save us some time later. All right, so now that we have that, we can finish the rest of the fur going around. So what we want to do is we want to kind of cross in front right here, and then take a little piece right here. Okay, and then we're going to kind of fold it in front of that. I'm going to extend out. Again, just kind of cleaning up as I go. Again, we're going to kind of fold in front. So you can see how that kind of now gives the illusion of fur without having like super detail. Okay, so we want to kind of go in front of that. So make sure those are connected. We'll pass in front, we'll stretch that out to about right here. And then we'll have another piece of fur. Take that down. Like that there. Okay. Now this one we're going to kind of come out with. And we'll bring that to a point there. Okay. We're going to have a bigger piece of fur. And, you know, we couldn't, originally I thought like I would do something like a bear fur, but not really any bears in the Scottish Highlands. So it could be, you know, a bunch of wolf pelts put together. Just little things you have to kind of think about when you're designing this stuff. And then let's have one more here. Just have that connected. Now it's kind of funny. I'm seeing how this design's kind of working on the shoulder. I don't know if we have any Spider-Man fans out there, but it's kind of giving me a Craven the Hunter kind of vibe. So not intentional, but I am seeing it. It's going to go up. Let's bring that out more like a triangle. Right there. Let me just put that in. Okay. Now we're going to put in another piece right here, just so we can cover up some more of the shoulder. So let's kind of put one more in there. And we'll get rid of that. And a little bit of darkness right there. And as we come down, you kind of add that in like that there. Okay. Now, let's come back up here to the shoulder. Uh, no, probably don't. I want to mess with this area too. Let's just get the shoulder um, guard in because I'm not 100% what I want to do with the hair just yet. And I don't want to have to erase over some of these dark lines. So let's just kind of cut our cells off right in here. All right. And we'll want to stretch this across. Come down to like right here. Okay. Then we can kind of have a thicker piece that comes off right there. And do the same thing down here on the side. Right. And let's cross another line in front, and we'll have that stretch back to there, like that. Okay. So now what we want to do is get some definition here. So let's go ahead and bring this out and kind of curve up a little fur right inside of there. Okay, and we'll come out this way. And again, as you go along, just clean up to save you some time from going back over it later. You don't want to race too hard so that you don't get rid of, everything that you just worked on. Let's come right here. And we put that in that way. And we get another piece of fur right here. Like that. Okay. Now it's going to come out a piece here. And you can see I've made a complete adjustment to how it looks, and that's okay. We're allowed to change things as we go. Let's bring that back and clean up that whole inside middle section of that. Let's do, I'm going to come down this way on the shoulder here. Okay, but I want to add a little bit of shadow coverage here with some dark lines. So I'm just going to kind of fill that in that way. And then we can take our fur there. And let's extend that down that way. Okay. So we're going to kind of come up. And we're going to give a little bit of shape right here, as well as some shape right off the stone right here. Okay. And we could even add, let's add a line coming off top of the stone that way. Okay. So I'm going to continue with this shoulder. Let's go ahead and stretch it down a little bit more, like right in there. I'm going to kind of curve it in, but I'm going to leave a slight gap. And then because this is so close to the body, we're just going to round that right in. Just kind of thickening up that back area right there. All right. Now let's take our bicep down some more like this. Okay, I don't want too much right in there for right now, because again, I want to have that same kind of, armband or wrap kind of gauntlet, I guess you would say, but more of the hide texture. So I'm going to take this forearm out, and we're just going to go to about right here. Okay. I don't want to get that same kind of cloth shape going. So just kind of changing the directions up. And we could probably add in a couple lines right there. Okay. Go ahead and let's erase that. And then I want to actually round this up that way some. So it kind of curves and it goes up. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way as much as I possibly can. Let's take that out and come down. Now, this area right here where we just came down, we're going to use that to make the next band that comes over. So I'm going to kind of bring that down this way. We want to kind of do the same thing, just kind of break it up a little bit. And we'll take that down this way. Okay, so we have that there. And then from right here, I can kind of come out that way. And we'll go down with it. Let's kind of have an overlap here. Right inside there. And we'll take that down the rest of the way. But I want to kind of keep things even again. So I'm going to jump over here to this finger right here. Okay. And I'm going to kind of curve this out like that. And then round that up this way. I'm going to take that right into the hand. So see this line I put in here? That's going to be a start of our thumb. So I'm going to kind of come out this way and go down. And I'm going to exaggerate the curve on that thumb. Let's bring it back like that there. Okay, bring that thumb down. And since I'm here, might as well get some more of that shape in there. Let's curve that in. And go this way. And that's just going to kind of be the shape we got for right now. Just we're going to do some stuff with that later. But I just wanted to get the thumb out there so that... So see this part right here, we have the crease in the thumb. I want it to look like we got some overlap. So let's darken that like that there. And we're going to come out. And we're going to bring that in, and then let's connect right there like that. Okay. And we're going to have like another fold right there. And then come out and get another fold set right here. Oops. Gonna have that connect and erase that back like that. Okay. But if you notice down here, we have this section here. So I want to come off just so we can show the under part. Come off this way. And we're going to leave that because now I want to start putting in the kilt. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and come back over here to the body. Again, I'm planning things out so that I don't have to keep erasing and possibly overly smudge my paper. Okay, so let's bring this out just so we have some difference. Okay, and from there we can kind of have that curve up. And again, have that back in there. So from here we can kind of thicken up and roll into the arm. See that slight curve there. And then back here on this part, we're going to darken that up just from that overlap on the body. Okay, and we could probably add some tiny lines for muscle right there. Okay, so now we get to the kilt that we're going to have. So I'm going to start here from this finger. Right. And I'm going to, for now, I'm just going to kind of sketch this out for here. Just so that I have an idea where things are going to go. We want this to be more like a belt. So we're going to kind of take that out that way. So I'm just kind of sketching it right now. Again, just so I can have the shapes of things. A slight curve here. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to lay in these sketches for the thigh, just so I have an idea of shape. Okay, same thing here. Just again, just idea for shape, finalized thing. Okay. So when planning this, again, I wanted the focus to be more on the character of Aquaman. So he does have a sword, so let's give him one. So right in here by the thumb, let's go ahead and we'll start sketching in these fingers. Okay, so like right here, let's kind of come up and go down. So I'm trying to be careful just so that I can shape the fingers enough to get the idea across. but still have them go in the kind of the right direction so that it's kind of like loosely wrapped around. And we'll take that back this way. So let's do, I'm going to kind of sketch in a shape here for our sword. That. Let's give it a little edge right here. Okay, so we're just getting a basic kind of foundation for it in. Let's take this out over this way. Put that there. Take that down on an angle. And bring that back in like that. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's give this a slight edge here. Just like that. Then from here, it's going to come out, go in. And take it down that way. And we'll come out this way. Again, we'll kind of curve in and then out. Okay. Now I do want, we need the blade, right? So let's kind of have the blade come out this way. Because we're at an angle, we're going to take that out. So we want this to be a big broadsword. We're just not going to see all of it, but we can at least convey the idea of it, right? So down in here, we're going to kind of come out this way. Go back up, and then let's make this a little bigger. Okay. And so again, I want the blade to come out that way. That there. And then we want our handle. Kind of connect from there. We're going to put kind of a wrap on it. So let's just kind of darken that. So I'm just giving it kind of a layered wrap. So like where the handle would be, where it would be held at, we're going to have I'm trying to angle it just a little bit, so it's not going to be perfect. this way. At the edge. Maybe sharpen it a little bit. Just so it's not perfectly round. Put like a little gemstone on the top. So now let's straighten this out. So looking a little crooked here. So let's take line up and line down. And we'll kind of cut it down some. That's kind of our wrap there. Let's take another wrap here. Like that. So again, it's not going to be perfect. Kind of holding it here. Like that. So that's kind of going back that way. It's just really bothering me. And we may just have to let it go, because I could probably spend an hour trying to sit here and do this. I think I got too used to doing digital, doing straight lines for everything. So let's kind of give the blade its edge. Like that. Let's kind of darken this up. And we want to put some fingernails right in here. And slight thumbnail right up here. Now let's get this belt situated. Add a little shadow right in here. An extra line. Okay, so I want a tiny bit of the rear right here. I'm going to build off that thigh. Take that in. What we'll do is we'll add a little bit of darkness right here. And that'll be our leg. Okay. Kind of have our kilt line right here off the blade. Let's do another line right here. Okay. So now we have that. We need to, that's a good baseline before we like finish out the detail. Now we need to go on and move on to the head. All right, so let's do this head. I'm kind of just slide the page down just a little bit. And we want to, let's start with the chin here. So my arms are about here. Let's go ahead. Just gonna kind of figure out. So let's start building up our chin. Take that back. So I'm just going to be doing this lightly, but dark enough that you can see. So I just kind of have that going back this way. And right here. Kind of take that up. Our chin probably should be a little bit more narrow. And we'll take that out to a high cheek right here. And you can see I'm kind of curving it back just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Let's do. So if we kind of come right about here. It always seems to be having like a good time, so let's put a smile on his face. Kind of darken this area close to the teeth. And we'll put a few little curves right there. And a couple little triangles for the gums right there. I know it's probably hard to see, but let's come under here underneath the chin. Put some shadow lines for that. Let's see, let's come down and kind of round chin a little bit more. Got a little line right there. We're going to put a slight curve up underneath the nose right here. And we'll take that up to the face. And let's put in a nostril. Now, let's work on, let's go ahead and put in eyebrow. And we'll get an eye right here. Draw our eyeball. Pupil right here. And we want a little bit of an eyelid. There. Let's get other side. You're gonna have to bring that in a little closer. Okay, something like that. All right, so let's do the hair. And we want to try to kind of throw the beard in there a little bit. All right, so right here, under the nose. I'm going to do our mustache part of the beard. Make sure we get that somewhat correct. Okay, so like here up under the lip. And bring that down on the chin. And same thing here. You want to kind of start taking that up towards the face. And then for the beard itself, I'm going to kind of use the chin to help guide us. let's kind of add another like triangle shape here. Then about right here, I'm going to put in our ear. Thinking our mustache might be a little crooked on that side. Okay. Now we just got to decide to do something with this hair. Let's see. Let's kind of go from here. And I'm just going to kind of sketch in some shapes here. Because you want to kind of try to, get a flow with your hair, but at the same time, it can present challenges. That's when it comes to hair, that tends to be where my perfectionism comes in a little bit, and so I'm trying not to do that too much. So forgive me. I'll try to make this not as, take as long to do. But I have no promises to give on that one. So I feel like what's throwing me off is I have the head's too small. So I may have to adjust by making the hair more poofed out, I guess, for lack of a better word on that. So just follow along as best you can while I'm trying to sort this out a little bit on what exactly I want the hair to do. So this is where it can get truly sketchy, for lack of a better term. So we're just gonna kind of keep flowing with it here. Let's see. And again, at any point you need to pause this video to catch up. By all means, do so. I know I'm doing a lot right now, and it might be hard to keep up, but I'm trying to sketch as quickly as possible so we get a decent time frame for this video. So it's not too crazy. Let's see, I'm going to bring that this way. And again, I'm going to have to clean up some of this area. Let's see, we're going to want to get some of the neck details too. So let's go ahead and knock some of that out. Let's do like this. Add a little darkness underneath the beard here. Let's not go too far with that. Let's come back up this way. We'll go ahead and solidify that area like that, as well as the beard. Just kind of thicken that up. Keep that hair there. Like that. Let's do, so it makes sense, let's do another strap right here. So I'll kind of make a thick line here. And we can connect right there. And we're going to keep going the best we can. Let's see, it's starting to take some shape here. See if I can bring that focus back. There we go. Let's go ahead, let's darken this hair right here, and we'll kind of thicken this up. That area, clean up inside. A little piece of it come out right here. And we'll take that out that way. Okay, now let's kind of bring this up right here. We'll do another piece come off right there. Kind of like leaving a little gap right there. Okay, so get that going. Back. Put some lines under the eye, just for a little bit more detail in there. Let's take another piece off right here. And flow out another piece. Let's take some pieces behind. There we go. We're starting to get some of that luscious hair. And I'm just going to kind of be putting in random lines as I go. Right. And we're starting to get somewhere. Just kind of going over again some of these areas to just kind of darken them back up. Do that like that there. Let's go ahead. Darken some of that up. And we'll take that down. Like I said, it's going to be a lengthy video, so if you're here for the long haul, glad to have you here. All right. So that's going to take care of pretty much that. So let's go ahead, darken up this area of the sword again. Okay. All right. Now that we have that established, let's do some detail work with the shadow work itself. We just kind of want to do a little bit more, but the first thing I want to do is I want to get the tattoos for Aquaman. So it still kind of has that DC movie version of it, because you know the traditional Aquaman had, you know, his suit had the scales on them, but obviously we can't do that. So just much like they did in the movie, we're going to kind of draw in a scale look on the tattoos. So let's start down here in the forms where just the basic look tends to be. So we're going to kind of round a section right here. Um, let's take, and I am using a reference for the tattoos because I want to make sure I get them accurate. So basically just a set of triangles here for this upper part of the arm. And then what you can do for the traditional aspect of this is once you kind of get that tattoo in, and if you're just sticking traditional the whole time, you're not going to follow along later and do the digital like color version. As you can see, I'm just kind of going in here. And just kind of doing a shade over where like the tattoos are. And then what we'll do is we'll go in and add, the darker details. So now this next set, I'm not going to see a whole lot of because it's just going to be covered. But the next set of tattoos is a much more spaced out version of the tattoos. So you want to kind of keep track of where those are. So again, I can kind of just fill those in. And that's really all we're going to see down by the forearm. Now when it comes to the bicep area, okay, we're going to have more of, it's kind of a different shape. It's almost like a upside down, like triangle arrow type thing. But the first thing we want to do is right here, I'm going to put this little kind of curve right here. And we're just going to kind of follow the flow of the arm itself. Okay, I'm going to do another line above that one. Okay, and just for reference again, I'm just going to kind of fill in just that area for the tattoo itself. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to use another line above that. Kind of bring that down. Okay, and the tricky part is going to be inside the arm here. So you can do it to the best of your ability. I guess would be the best way to put that. I'm not going to match it up 100% perfect just because that's not going to be possible in the time really allotted to me. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing all this first, let's come up here and start putting in these kind of arrow shapes on the arm. Now we want to kind of do it in a pattern so we can kind of alternate the sides on it, so I can keep coming up and down with it. and just kind of take it back through the arm that way. So again, we're just going to kind of piece those in. And yes, it takes time to do this stuff. That's where digital can come in handy, because you could just kind of make your own pattern with it. Just kind of stamp them in there. Or just draw it once and kind of clone it through the rest of the way. But either way, we have already committed, so that's where it's going to. All right, so let's do a little bit sticking out right there. Try to keep it even. Like I said, if you don't necessarily have to do this all in one day. You can take a break, come back tomorrow, finish it up. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to sit here and go through and finish this thing. So let's keep going with it. So you can see how we're amassing a lot more detail, and that's why I'm wanting to hold off for right now anyway on the shadow work. This line, we could probably darken that up. Because honestly, to make it look like more like scales, they're probably a lot closer together. But again, for the sake of time and my overall sanity, honestly, we're just going to squeeze in what we can, get the general idea of it, and go from there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to fill in those tattoos, just so again I can have an idea of what it's looking like. And you can see I didn't take my time to like make sure it was like 100% perfect. You know, just got the shapes in there. To again give off the impression of what's going on. So we'll just go around and fill those in. Again, your choice. You don't have to if you wanted to go in and kind of color it, because like when I do the digital tomorrow, I'm honestly just going to end up kind of tracing over what we've done. And just doing that kind of a green black tattoo color. So again, at the end of the day, it is your artwork and up to you whether or not you want to color it or just shade it. It's completely up to you. All right. So now the next part I want to do is right here from this area. We're going to have a whole lot of a different kind of look. So we're doing like the opposite, right? So I'm doing more line and cutting out um, the shape as opposed to uh, drawing it that way. So it'll be a lot thinner. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Okay, so for instance, like in here, I'm going to be drawing the outer shape. Instead of it being really thick, it's going to be really thin. Right, going through the same. But there's a point though where it's almost solid. So like there's not as many to do through here. But the idea is to do those same kind of shapes, except it's going to be the opposite. So where we colored them in, we're coloring around these shapes instead. Okay, so like that whole area right in here, we'll have that black or gray color to it. Again, you can see how I'm not making it as thick. As the other ones we did. So again, time consuming, but be worth it when it's done. So I think it actually has more of like certain points. It'll kind of round to that area. But again, for time purposes, we are doing what we can and giving off a general impression of it, right? So again, the opposite is going to be for this one. So we are not coloring inside the little V shapes, we're going outside. So it doesn't have to be perfectly solid, but you don't want to like stray it out too far, just so it doesn't look like a shoddy job of coloring it in. But you can see how it's going to take up a lot of space inside the arm here. So we're going to bring that in. And we're just going to kind of go around those shapes the best we can. And again, it does not have to be perfectly solid on the inside. Now some of these lines, when you go over them, you might lose them, so you want to bring them back by just darkening them. And then just continue to color around. Forgive me for the process taking a while. All right. So now that's colored in. So say we have the separation of the different places, and that's where we're going to come back in later and kind of beef up the lines a little bit. Okay. Now part of the chest. All right, so let's go ahead and let's darken this area back out. Again, just so it stands out with the line work. Okay. So here on the chest, we're going to have some lines come up. So we're going to go this way. Again, I can fill that in. Okay, I'm going to do another set of lines right here. And fill that in as well. Okay. And then we have one more right here, and you're going to see a little bit of some triangle action right there. But again, that's how we'll fill that in there. Now we have the part that kind of goes under. So I'm going to get that tattoo piece here. Let's do a line here for that part. Okay, so I'm going to take that down. And that's going to kind of come over. Like that. And then we got kind of a triangle shape right there. And another one here. And here. Okay, so we have that going. And then on this portion, we're going to have a small bit. Comes out right there. So we can kind of just color that in there. Now we're going to have the same thing on this other side. Again, triangles. And fill it in. Okay, and then as far as the chest goes on this side, we're not going to see a whole lot except for like maybe right here. Okay, and then up here in this area. All right. Now some parts we can go ahead and we can add in some dark shadows. So let's go ahead and build that up. So I'm just going to make that dark right here. You can see the difference between me making something lightly shaded and actually filling it in with shadow. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna have the same to do on. Sorry, this is bothering me. I'm just gonna go ahead and darken that and erase out this little part right there. Okay. So we're gonna have the same thing going across. So let me clean up that area there, and we're gonna go across the forearm. And we're gonna do the same exact thing. And just fill that in, just like that. Okay. Now we got the same issue on the bicep. So we're going to bring a line across, thin line. Again, just going to fill that in. And we're going to do the same thing going this way. Okay, and then we're just going to do our thin outline. Cut that one short. Okay, we'll leave all that. We'll have a few little bits that show on that side of the arm, but the rest of it we just fill in. And again, you can choose to fill it in however you choose. So let's take this. Around like that. And we got that. Now all that's left is we just got to get a few pieces of that pattern. So let's go ahead and build some across like that. And get a couple right here. And it's filled in on that side. All right. Now the rest of it's all just kind of blocked off from the different varying positions and stuff. So now we can just finish up with some of, the darkenings of the lines adding in some details. So I'm just kind of coming in here on the forearm. I'm going to darken that out. Maybe add in a few lines here. Again. A darkening shadow along that edge. So like right here on the thumb we can get some, definitely along this bottom edge here. Like that. Alright, certain areas you want to go through, kind of re-darken up the lines a little bit. Get this area here. Let's add in a few lines. Like that. Also get detail on this stone. Just kind of bring it to life a little bit so it's not so bland. Thicken up that back edge, put a line in there. Fill that in like that. And well, something like that. Okay. So we're just going to go through and just continue doing this. Adding in some shadows where we can. Back here on the fur. So see, we're just adding a little bit more, going back over areas. Little things here and there to make the fur stand out a little bit more. That might be a bit too much. Let's take this that way. Okay. Now let's go down here. Fingers. A little bit of roundness and thickness in there. Again, remember this is a wrap in here. Wrap piece of leather. So that all just kind of gets darkened. You can kind of come in here and add a few extra lines. Thicken them up. Okay, and put that in there, and then let's do dark shadow here. Dark shadow there. Now this is more like a crystal gem type thing at the top of that. Now I can put a few lines in there. Let's go ahead, add some thickness. Some of these fingers. Same thing in here. Kind of give that an edge there. Let's go ahead, retrace over these lines, but we want that to kind of be, again, like a gem shape. So like that's the edge of that. This area down here will have more shadow. So we kind of build that up that way. We'll do the same thing on this side here. I want to build up this edge right there on the sword. And I'm going to keep that looking the way it is, but I'm just going to kind of darken up the edge of the blade so that it just looks more. Okay, now let's do the same thing in here on these fingers and kind of thicken up certain areas. And darken that. Like that there. And let's clean up. Okay, let's do some line work here. And we'll get some shadow here, so let's erase that. back up. And then we can come down through here. A little bit of a fold. Like that there. And let's do the same thing here. Just going to kind of extend it just a little bit. Round that up in. Alright. Now let's do this. I'm going to pull up an image. Of an old Scottish kilt. Let's see what some of the patterns, what it look like, so I can make sure I get something decent. So again, it's okay to use reference. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't. Let's see. Gonna kind of lightly sketch. Pattern in here. Let's get another one. And we're just going to keep going down the line. So I'm putting these lines in a little darker, but I'm not going full black. It's going to be kind of a where the color kind of fades in that pattern. Okay. Let's do another right here. Another right there. Okay. Now we're going to go across. Okay. So I'm going to take color that way. I'm going to skip a space. Let's clean it up. Some of that sketchiness in there. Okay, I'm going to drag another one across. Okay, let's skip a space. Let's go this way. We'll squeeze in another one down here. Okay. That's should be good. Now I'm going to, so every one of these lines going down is lighter, right? So I'm going to very lightly um, wrong square. Sorry about that. But that's why we're doing it very lightly. But we're going to do this as the faded part of the plaid. So I'm going to keep that light. And again, obviously, when you color this, it'll look a whole lot different, or better for that matter. Again, just for completion purposes. Just going to fill those in light. The rest of it's just kind of white. And you can choose whatever colors you want to use. So, okay. So as we can see, it's giving us our pattern. Now for the rest of it, I'm going to go darker. Excuse me. So you want to press a tiny bit harder, but you don't want it to be black. Now the spaces that aren't getting colored in, those are what I'm choosing to have as a white color. Now when I go and do the actual colored version of this, that doesn't mean it's not subject to change. But as far as those of you just doing it on paper, it will suffice for what it is that you're trying to do. So again, it's just a tiny bit darker than the lighter area. Now, as far as just an image goes, we will, leave it at just um, the drawing for this. When I do the digital version, I'm probably going to do something like, water splashing up behind him or something like that. But again, just for people's time and sanity, I'm not going to draw all that up in here. Okay, so you can see how that's kind of adding a nice pattern in there. Alright, we're almost done. Just got one more row after this one. And that'll do it. Okay, did not mean to fill that in because that is his skin down here. So forget about that. That we can then go in and darken up these lines on the face. So they stand out a little bit more. And that, my friends, is going to do it for Aquaman Celtic Warrior mashup. Part 2 will be on tomorrow. And if you would like to follow along digitally with that, please stop by and we'll go through step by step on how to color that. Other than that, I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to share your work with me on Twitter. Actually, while I'm running my lips here, let's add in a few more lines on this fur over here. But yeah, you can join me tomorrow for that. Again, I hope you had fun. Thanks for sticking with me for the couple hours that it took. I would love to see your work. You can share it with me on Twitter, Instagram at WickedArt5. Other than that, y'all have a wonderful, blessed day, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right? Bye.